Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff today said he hopes Congress will revisit, as he put it, immigration reform, and soon. Since the pro-amnesty legislation failed, Secretary Chertoff said his department has no choice but to enforce existing immigration law. Imagine that. And as Lisa Sylvester now reports, the Bush administration is likely to try again to introduce amnesty.
Department of Homeland Security.
Homeland Security Chief Michael Chertoff says the administration aims to live up to its commitment to enforce existing immigration law. But speaking at a border security conference, he predicted worker shortages in certain industries will put comprehensive immigration reform back in Congress's lap.
In the long run, we all know the problem's going to have to be tackled comprehensively. It's going to have to be addressed with all dimensions.
The Bush administration has clearly not given up plans for an eventual guest worker and an amnesty program. But in the meantime, the focus has shifted to enforcement. DHS outlined more than 20 new rules that include a requirement that employers fire workers with phony Social Security numbers. The construction and farming trades are sounding the warning bell. They'll lose workers and consumer prices will rise. But immigration reform groups are not shedding any tears.
The only ones who are benefiting from this are the large business concerns, and in particular, in this instance, the agricultural growers. We have to wean them off cheap illegal labor.
Skeptics are not certain the crackdown will even work. Representative Zoe Lofgren, who chairs the House Immigration Subcommittee, pointed out DHS doesn't know the number of high-skilled visa holders in the country, saying, quote, "The agency that can't count is now going to go on this enforcement gig." Others are a bit more optimistic.
It's these kind of simple little things that the American people have been wishing for a long time and have been let down. Hopefully what we see now is a true comprehensive plan of enforcement, and enforcement first.
Congressman Brian Bilbray hopes businesses with an illegal workforce will start employing American citizens and wages will start to rise. Large agribusiness, religious groups, and some labor unions are pressing Congress to revisit the immigration issue. And that may be part of the Bush administration's overall strategy. Get tough, hope business and other special interest groups complain loudly, and force lawmakers to bring back the comprehensive bill that's already failed twice this year. Lou?
So the thinking is right now in Washington that the people be damned again. This president and these Democratic leaders of both houses of Congress are going to press ahead again.
Well, they are certainly talking enforcement, but at the same time, they are making it very clear that they think the only way you can solve this problem is comprehensively, which, of course, that means the guest worker and the amnesty plan, Lou.
Well, as we've reported on this broadcast, let's do something really wild and crazy here tonight, Lisa. Let's put the facts on the table for the fine, upstanding people who are members of this administration. There are not 1, 2, or 3 existing guest worker programs. There are, in fact, 9 of them, as we've reported. This president keeps saying we need a guest worker program. No one has apparently told him there are already 9 existing guest worker programs, Lisa.
And
why won't somebody whisper that to the man?
And indeed, Lou, there is the H-2A program, which specifically is for agricultural workers. So a lot of people are warning. You hear these dire consequences that a head of lettuce is going to, prices are going to increase. But you're absolutely right. There is a guest worker program to address just that issue.
You know, this administration and its idiotic, just incredibly stupid so-called free trade at any cost policies where they want the market to work. No policies, don't protect the consumer. We just want a free market, except in the case of agriculture, in the case of technology, where they want to be able to bring in workers and, frankly, to have the American taxpayer subsidize the exploitation of these illegal aliens. It is incredible, the mindless, tortured reasoning of these people.
You know, in fact, that's a point that Congressman Bilbray raises, which he says, you know, true Republicans who don't want market interference, he says, well, allowing this importation of cheap foreign labor, that is market interference.
Well, and this entire administration, and frankly this Congress, to put, I love it when the President of the United States says we can't enforce our borders without a guest worker program. You know, I don't know whether the administration is that stupid or this administration just thinks the American people are that stupid. And to hear Michael Chertoff, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, now almost 6 years after September 11th, talking about economics and labor dislocation within the economy instead of focusing on border security and port security and preparing this nation for terrorist attacks and preventing them, is talking nonsense at a border conference in El Paso and pandering at the same time. A magical political feat.
That is indeed true, and we'll have to see if Chertoff message, if they stay on message with this enforcement. But at this point, that's at least what their talking points say to talk about, and so that's what they're doing, is talking a good game of enforcement, Lou.
Well, you know, all of those senators and all of those congressmen are back in their home districts now, or somewhere. At least they're closer to the constituents. And I think it'd probably be a very good idea, folks, if you've got a strong view on this issue, to let these people know what you're thinking, because they are determined to ignore the will of the people, the majority, the will of the majority in this country. And they're going to serve their corporate masters. They're going to serve special interests, the socio-ethnocentric interests. And again, you know, to even raise the issue is basically saying on the part of this administration, the people be damned. Lisa Sylvester, thank you very much. Two Republicans